This is a 5-Minute Business Builder with Rick Howe, where your business comes first on News 95.7.
All right. Occasionally on our show, we'll be talking with members of the city's business community, getting to know who they are and just what they do. And we welcome mortgage broker Clinton Wilkins back to the show this afternoon. He's going to tell us more about credit reports. Hello, Clinton. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thanks for having me, Rick.
Thank you for coming back here today. And we're going to talk about credit reports here today. And as a mortgage broker, why is credit important? Obviously, you're looking for deals for people, and obviously they have to have a pretty good credit rating if they're going to get a good deal from the banks and such.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, the moral of the story is the better the credit, the better the deal is going to be. Typically, when you're looking to buy a home, credit is one of the major pillars that we look at in terms of what our clients, really their willingness to pay. And it's looking at their previous credit history around repayment, around utilization, credit inquiries, the mix of the credit that they have. I think it's super, super important. And it's one of those things that the lenders are looking to evaluate each individual client and kind of move forward from there.
So if I have a good credit rating, chances are I'm going to get a pretty good interest on a mortgage if I'm going to take out a mortgage, right?
Yeah, 100%. The credit score is out of 900, and typically anything over 700 or 720 is considered stellar.
Okay.
And those people are going to get the very best pricing, as well as maybe the smallest down payments as well.
So how do I check my credit rating? I know there are companies out there that do this kind of job, and can I just simply, pick up the phone and call and get information on my credit rating?
There are two credit reporting agencies in Canada. There's Equifax and TransUnion, and both of them offer credit monitoring. You can also get a copy of your credit report on their websites. There are also some free services available out there from some third parties that you can go and have a look at your credit. And I think it's super important when you're looking at buying a house. I think checking your credit up front is definitely super important. But also, credit can impact a lot of different things. It can impact employment, your ability to rent, buy cars, obtain, other unsecured credit as well. So I think monitoring your credit going forward, I think definitely has a lot of value.
But what if I've had some issues in regards to, high credit, high interest credit cards, those kinds of things?
You know what? I think credit issues happen from time to time. It can be, loss of employment, health issues, marital breakdown, and credit issues do happen. But it's not forever. And when we look at a credit report, it's really a snapshot in time. Typically what happens is if there is something that's happened negatively on the credit report, it stays on there for 6 years. So if you miss a payment, it'll fall off after 6 years.
Because that was my next question. When I was a struggling radio jock back in the long ago and get into a bit of financial trouble. So that's been expunged, that past history of mine.
You have been forgiven. And I think that's what people think. If you've had bad credit, doesn't mean that your credit's bad forever. It's bad maybe at a snapshot in time. And it doesn't mean that you can't get a mortgage if you've had some credit issues. There are products available for people that have had some blemishes before. And no matter what their credit mix, everyone in Canada can get a mortgage. But, if there are issues on credit or if there's issues maybe on income, maybe you're going to need a bigger down payment or the interest rate's going to be higher. Obviously, the better the situation, the better deal you're going to get.
You mentioned here credit monitoring. Is that just simply getting a hold of Equifax or TransUnion and just hearing and seeing what your credit scores are?
It's available online. It's something like a monthly subscription where you would pay a nominal fee and they would send you notifications based on what's going on with your credit. You can also check your credit for free. And anytime that you check your credit through TransUnion or Equifax, or if you sign up for credit monitoring, it does not impact your score. A lot of people ask me every day, are credit inquiries going to drive down my credit score? And I think there's a little bit of misconception out there around that. The inquiries make up about 10% of the actual score. And there is a risk tolerance or a threshold that a certain number of inquiries annually are okay. So I think if you check your credit, maybe a couple times a year. So if you're applying for a mortgage or if you're applying for a car or a credit card, a couple of times a year is okay. But if you start checking it a couple times a month, that's going to drive down your score. The biggest thing that impacts your credit is really around your repayment history and around your utilization. So for example, if you have a credit card with a $5,000 limit and you're at $5,000, or, even if you're over the limit, that's really going to start driving your score down. Usually if we say the rule of thumb is keeping any of your revolving debt below 50% of the limit, and you'll be good to go.
Excellent. Good advice.
Yeah.
And it's a simple thing to do. Just you can go online, call them and get your score and That'll determine a lot as to getting a mortgage and such.
100%. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to us.
Is there a website they can go to?
Yeah, they can visit us online at www.teamclinton.ca.
All right, Clinton, appreciate you dropping by here today. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me, Rick.
That's Clinton Wilkins.
The News 95.7 5-Minute Business Builder with Rick Howe, where success matters.